Georgia quarterback Quincy Carter is coming off his best performance of the season. In throwing for 349 yards in a fourth quarter win over Mississippi, Quincy showed accuracy, patience, and courage. Georgia Tech quarterback Joe Hamilton is a thrill waiting to explode. This senior has now totaled more than 10,000 yards and 79 touchdowns. The shootout is next.
I'm Jack Arute along with the Georgia head coach Jim Don. And coach, first of all, you elected to take the ball first. Why?
Well, they got a lot of firepower. We're going to see what we can do with ours.
Now, how many points do you think you're going to have to put on the board to beat this Joe Hamilton-led offense at Georgia Tech?
One more than they get. I guarantee you that's what we got to do. They're a good team. We're going to play hard, Jack.
Brent?
One more than Georgia Tech scores. They'll take it, won't they? Luke Monge puts the ball on the tee for the Ramblin' Wreck, and they'll kick it off here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Hope all you folks have enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday. Patrick Ross and Brett Milliken are back deep. This rivalry is underway. Pass. Cuts to the middle. Alley. Finds a slant hole. 40. Midfield. Great field position for Quincy Carter, their sophomore quarterback from Decatur, Georgia. And we asked Quincy, what is your game plan today against the Ramblin' Wreck?
Pretty much take what the defense gives us and coach down and make sure that I don't force any passes, I don't check off any runs, that I make sure I'm getting us in the right play every down.
Quincy brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Two running backs and one tight end. Frequently Georgia opens in a double tight. Quincy to throw on first down, fires complete. He did catch his tight end, and that is for 11 yards and a 1st and 10 as we meet the Chili's starting lineup. Here's the offensive line. Keep an eye on number 75, Jonas Jennings, a tackle who's been bothered by a sprained ankle. Seniors on the left side. Terrence Edwards, Robert's younger brother, the freshman wideout, leads this team with 9 touchdown catches. Jasper Sanks will also play some running back along with Patrick Bass. And, of course, the sophomore Quincy Carter on a 1st and 10. Puts it back out again to his tight end. So first they go to Javaris Johnson on the first pass, then Randy McMichael. That for 11 more yards. So Carter making a living with his tight ends early.
Quincy Carter came into this football game, I think, playing a great fourth quarter against Ole Miss. He got his bounce going, throwing the ball, as you said, Brent, for over 340 yards, and you can see the game plan. Let's get him started early. We got a quarterback just as good as anybody on either side here, Quincy Carter.
Now they sit down with their 2 huge tight ends, and they open the way. Fumble! Recovered by Georgia. Ball was fumbled by Jasper Sanks. But an offensive lineman, Breedlove, pounced on the loose football. Now let's meet this Georgia Tech defensive line, and they're going to need some of these fellas to step up and tackle. Gathers a freshman, a defensive end with a fine future. But the linebackers have to close in. Huge holes for Wake Forest a week ago. And in that secondary, Chris Young and Jeremy Myers, the safeties, have to come up and run support. Base 4-3 for Tech. Come back with pass. Penetration by the defense. Pass beats them. Out of bounds at the 20-yard line, just short of the first down.
Let's take a look here at the Dell Game Solutions for Georgia. Last week they worked the tight ends and running backs. You saw the opening play. Continue to do that. It works. And I think Georgia's going to spring a little option in this football game. Try to get Quincy Carter involved in the run game. Georgia Tech, prepare for ground warfare. When you got a team that runs for 300 yards, you're going to face it. And they need Brent to get a fumble. 1 fumble recovery all year. Last in turnover margin in the whole country.
Haynes now checks in at fullback. Grant, the running back, And the defensive end pounds ahead for the first down. This is a strategy employed by Donnan, especially early in the season. He's one of the finest freshman players on the Georgia team. Not only will he use him at defensive end, but in short yardage situations, he will bring him in to pick up the first down, as he did right there. Ball is inside the 20-yard line now for the Dogs in the red zone for the first time. Saints battles down at the 15-yard line. Wimbush.
Let's take a look at the matchup in this football game. You have to give a small check here, a small check here for Georgia Tech, although Georgia started out so well. Georgia's defense just a little bit better. Special teams, they're both about the same. Here it is right here. Intangibles. I think whoever gets turnovers in this football game is going to win this intangibles. But, Brent, if Joe Hamilton gets a last drive with the football, that might be enough to win it for Tech.
Johnson with an H-back look. They'll run in his direction. It's Saints coming around the right side. Huge holes. A job being well done by Stinchcomb, Breedlove, and Lucky that time on the right side.
It's been a problem all year for George O'Leary's defense, just stopping, tackling well, stopping the base plays from any offense they face. That puts so much pressure on the offense for Tech. They've only been held to under 31 points once all year, and they lost that football game.
Third down for the Dogs. Saints tackle from behind that time. Greg Gathers, their fine freshman out of Louisiana, comes in behind him to make the stop.
3 true freshmen start for Georgia Tech. Gathers is one of them. Going to come right around the play right here and make it from the backside. Pretty good blocking at the point of attack. You would expect to pick up a first down, but when those tailbacks are so deep nowadays, those defensive ends come around the corner and make the play. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Donnan displays his hand early, and Charles Grant is back in. So their defensive end will line up at the tailback, number 19. That's where they went last time. Again on the toss. Here comes Charles Grant, the freshman, down at the 9-yard line. And the Tech defense holds with Marvius Hester making the stop. 4th and 1. Donnan gambles, and Grant can't get it for him.
They not only might have not gotten a first down, they might have lost a defensive end in this football game. Grant took a hit right on the knee, coming around to the outside. You see it stretching out as wide as he can, put the shoulder pad right on the knee and doesn't get it. And Tech stops Georgia, and there you can see it limping off that right knee. You know, Brent, 5 times Georgia was inside the 20 against Ole Miss. It only ended up with 1 touchdown. Inside the 20-yard line has not been good to Jim Donnan. They went for it on a 4th down occasion early in the Ole Miss game. Didn't make it, came back and got points later. I think when you're facing a team that scores a lot of points, sometimes you do things a little bit out of character, out of the norm.
Joe Hamilton's first play with Georgia Tech. The defense holds on 4th and 1. They will run on first down, and the Dogs were ready for Sean Gregory. Richard Seymour, their fine defensive tackle, making the stop. And we asked Joe, what do you want to accomplish in the first series?
See what their plan is. I want to come out in a couple of different formations just to see, what we're going to be seeing all game, see the intensity of the game, see the speed of the game.
The speed is quick so far. Joe has found that out. 2nd down and 7. A very conservative opening call by offensive coordinator Ralph Friedgen. Now the quarterback draw. Now Joe Hamilton's got the first down. Out beyond the 25-yard line, and we meet our Chili's starting lineup. Joe Hamilton, the ringleader. And his offensive line features 3 seniors, Burks, King, and Carmen, introduced for the final time here in Atlanta. His receivers, Kelly Campbell, a quick one, number 6. Des White coming off an injury. We'll watch him. Sean Gregory has been the ball carrier. Now on first down, Hamilton brings the rambling wreck back to the line. Protective pocket, got a wide receiver on that left side, and Kerry Watkins streaks down that far sideline. Now defensively, Grant is out, and a Green has checked in, so he unlucky. Grant, injured ankle, not on that lineup. Boss Bailey, yes, that is Champ's brother. Also Kindrobell, outstanding newcomer. This is the revamped defensive backfield. Can it hold up today against Joe Hamilton and Georgia Tech? And Friedgen, the offensive coordinator, shows wishbone now with this formation. First down. Hamilton on a keep option look. Pitch now to Gregory, who is hit by number 31, Jamie Henderson. On this play, Hamilton throws it. It's out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Ed Wilder's the receiver. And let's go down and find out about Grant. Jack Arute, what do you hear?
Brett, not good news for Charles Grant or for Georgia. Right behind me, they're icing the young man down now. His knee, the right knee, they suspect is a problem. They have taken him out of the game for the rest of the afternoon.
In case you just joined us, a defensive end who was put in on short yardage and running situations. There will be a lot of second guessing following that decision to use one of your finest rushmen as a running back when the defenders get a shot at those legs. Here comes Hamilton now, a handoff. And out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage on the near side of the field that time. And Jamie Henderson very active in that defensive backfield.
Third and medium, 4 wide receivers, and Georgia played very conservatively. A very soft secondary, trying to keep everything in front of them. Georgia Tech needs to run the ball at the middle of that defense, and a couple of short passes will get them out of it.
Dan Dyke back now to punt, and Michael Greer is the return man for the Dogs. They'll get it for the second time here today. Beautiful punt, but it went in the end zone. It broke the plane, and it'll come out on the 20 once it breaks that plane. So it goes as a 55-yard punt coming out on the 20 for Quincy. Timeout.
Take a look at Quincy Carter here. A little scouting report on him. He's got size, speed, and arm strength for the Millennium. He's the type of guy you draw up. Great throwing off balance, but sometimes that leads to sloppy footwork. And you know, greatness, and that's how we measure this guy, is in the details. Quincy Carter has to do the little things to be great.
Pass on first down, and he is cut off at the pass. Jack Arute.
Brett, you've got to remember that when Quincy Carter was in high school, he signed a letter of intent to go not to Georgia, but to Georgia Tech. But the lure of baseball, specifically being drafted by the Chicago Cubs, took Carter out of the football mix for several years. He cashed a $450,000 signing bonus, and Quincy Carter became a baseball player, at least for a couple of years.
And Georgia's happy to have him operating this offense. Shotgun look, gonna throw it. Drop it off on that flanker screen. A comeback from the right side of the field with Terrence Edwards, Robert's younger brother, who leads this team with 9 touchdown catches. Outstanding freshman receiver from Tennille, Georgia.
So outstanding. He's a point guard on the basketball team, a great athlete, a high school quarterback, and this is the way you get the ball to playmakers nowadays. You throw that wide receiver screen, bring your linemen on those smallish defensive backs, and try to pop one.
2 of the best-looking tight ends we've seen this year. One of them, Michael, goes in motion. 6'6" target. Quincy throws, but he threw it 6'8" that time. Incomplete. The backdrop, one of the great cities of the United States, Atlanta. Capital of the New South, if you will. Left-footed punt is underway, and back deep is Hester. Runs up to it at the 45-yard line to fair catch. That's where Joe Hamilton will put it in play after only a 28-yard punt. Timeout. For Charles Grant, still out with that injury. David Jacobs, a redshirt freshman from right here at Atlanta, Westlake High School, will get a shot now at left defensive end for the Dogs against Joe Hamilton and Georgia Tech. Play fake. Hamilton downfield has Des White. Out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Wonsley on the cover, but a 22-yard gain.
Des White missed last week, about 3/4 of the game, went out with a hamstring injury. That really put pressure on this offense, especially feeling it Kelly Campbell, as he only ended up with 5 catches for 47 yards. The combination of Campbell and White really what make this thing sing for Joe Hamilton.
The option look. Gregory behind a block by Wilder, and Gregory makes the most out of it. He's out of bounds inside the 30. Gary, how about our Dell game solution?
Well, for Georgia Tech, it's going to be a deep zone early, so throw short against it, force a little man, then look for the deep ball. Secondly, they've got to neutralize the 2 defensive tackles, Stroud and Seymour. That's the strength of that defense, at least for Georgia Tech looking at them.
Georgia Tech trying to finish off a drive here in the first quarter inside the 30-yard line. Gregory pounds into the middle of the defensive line, but no more than a yard or 2.
Let's follow up with what Georgia has to do against them. They must be formation ready. Ralph Friedgen gives you a lot of looks, so don't blow a game just by not knowing where they line up. And when they have a true passing situation, rush up the middle with 5 guys. You get that 5th guy to be Kendrell Bell, number 37. He's a great rusher. There's Kevin Ramsey, defensive coordinator on the right there.
Here's 3rd down. Hamilton back in the shotgun for Georgia Tech. Almost intercepted, and a beautiful play by Timmy Wonsley, the sophomore from Buford, Georgia. He breaks it up beautifully, read the pass by Hamilton all the way.
Wonsley was sitting deep on the play, but look who he's looking at right here. Joe turns around, and watch how long this short pass takes to get there. When a defensive back can make up 5 yards, you know the quarterback held on to the ball just a little too long.
Manje.
What was that?
Kicks the field goal is what that is, a 44-yarder and a 3-0 lead. Georgia Tech strikes first in a rivalry game.
He had Manjo on it.
Offense was the name of the game throughout this cross-state rivalry. During the first half, Georgia scored on a 30-yard field goal, a 71-yard bomb, and a 20-yard touchdown run. The Yellow Jackets were also able to light up the scoreboard with touchdowns by Kelly Campbell and 2 one-yard TD runs by Sean Gregory. We rejoined the game at the start of the 3rd quarter with the score 24-17. Yellow Jackets over the Bulldogs here on ESPN Classic.
Georgia Tech leads Georgia in a game with 41 points and more than 560 yards of offense already. Gary Danielson, what do you make of it? What's your impression?
Water kind of seeks its own level. I think that probably sums it up. The offenses have played about the way I expected. Unfortunately for both teams, the defenses have played about the way everybody expected in this football game. A lot of points, a lot of offense, far from over.
Who do you think will score last?
If Joe Hamilton has the ball at the end of this game, I put my money on that guy, I think.
Well, Hamilton will get it first. Georgia with the ball on the tee to kick it off here. They'll take a knee on that one and bring it on out. Let us check in on the Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stats.
Well, in the open, we talked about 900 yards they averaged. You can see the defenses were giving up over 800. There we are, over 500 yards plus at halftime. You know, the key thing that I think so far in this game, remember, Georgia Tech comes into this game rated last in all of college football in turnover margin. No turnovers in this game. That's why I think Tech's up a bit here.
Hamilton at the line. Play fake, going to put it up on 1st down. Got it. Des White. Jackaroo, what the coaches have to say.
Well, Brent, Jim Donnan talked about one thing. Only the offense. He said, hey, our receivers have got blinkers flashing in front of you, and you can't hit them. Now, over on the offensive side of the ball for Georgia Tech, they were concerned about Joe Hamilton, their quarterback. I asked Joe how he was. He said, it's not my hip. I took a little bit of a hit in my knee. He's wearing a rubber brace to try and stabilize it.
All right, Jack. First down after that pass play. And here's Gregory again, who scored 2 touchdowns. Now, remember, Hamilton's best pass of the day probably was the scoring pitch of 47 yards, Gary.
Well, what stands out this is you see Joe Hamilton moving the ball around the field. But look at this. Throwing the ball deep. Look at that. 4 for 4. Throw the ball deep that well, and you're going to put points on the board.
Second down and 8 yards to go. Hamilton straight back, and he's got Campbell out of bounds right at the marker. The linesman making the spot. We also got word from Jack a short time ago that Georgia must go without freshman defensive end Charles Grant and without freshman wide receiver Terrence Edwards, both injured in the first half, both outstanding freshmen, 2 of the best in the SEC this year. Grant on crutches, watching from the sideline, and that was a first down for the Rambling Wreck.
That'll make it tough for Quincy Carter. He was one of the playmakers, but look for the tight ends to be involved for Georgia in the second half. They're their best chance.
Double wing formation now for Tech.
2 wide receivers in tight.
Motion started using Gregory to midfield for a couple of yards.
Let's update the Dell Game Solutions so far. Said throw it short and then go deep for cement. Yep, that worked. Neutralize Stroud and Seymour. Haven't even heard him call the name yet. Yeah, that worked. Now, you remember miscommunication? Georgia did a bad one there. That hurt right there. Georgia's having trouble with it. Multiple formations. Game plan is starting to work. Inside, Seymour and Stroud have been quiet.
Hamilton on a play fake. Gets protection. And fires right on the money to Des White. Wansley, the defender. But that is another first down. And Georgia Tech, to steal a phrase from Hank Stram, is simply matriculating right down the field here, lads. That's 17 yards.
Yeah, but it's all matriculating to the left side, a mismatch. Wide receiver, everything's going to the left side of the formation. And right now, Tim Wansley, number 2, is having a problem. He's going to need help.
Seymour and Stroud are out as Georgia rotates defensive linemen here. Hamilton on a keeper, turns back and dives across the 30-yard line. They're over on the backside. They're left tackles, my friend. Here comes Campbell on an end around. Breaks free, and he's inside the 15-yard line and out of bounds at the 13.
Seen about every offensive play you can imagine. Ralph's got them all out. Here comes option pitch coming back the other way. Watch Chris Campbell, the big tackle, get a cleanup block here from the backside. That's really what's going to open it up right there. Get it out, and there's the gash right there. Chris Brown, the big tackle, peels back and gets the block.
And gives Tech another first down inside the 15-yard line. Wishbone look. Watkins goes back. Hamilton keeps it in the middle of the defense. Marcus Stroud said, "Not this time, little fella."
Huge split that time by the offensive guard. Stroud, they tried to put on an island that time. Stroud just beat his man up front. They tried to run that kind of midline option right at him, and he just made the play.
Second down. Gregory behind Wilder. White's the slot receiver for Hamilton.
Let's look.
Here's Gregory, and Witherspoon tackles him, and this will bring up a 3rd and long. So Georgia Tech moves inside the 15-yard line without any trouble, and then Georgia holds on 2 plays. Need to reach the 3, almost the 2-yard line for a first down.
No help out here.
Motion. Hamilton. Right side, incomplete. He knew he was facing coverage. He threw it out there to see if Watkins could run under it. He could not, and it's field goal time for Tech.
That's what you love about Joe Hamilton. He doesn't give up on a play. He just doesn't scramble out of there. He says, listen, I don't want to take a sack, but I just don't want to get nothing out of it. I'll throw it up there. Either my guy gets it or nobody. And worst thing is, we get a try for a field goal.
Which could give Tech a 10-point lead. This will be a 29-yard attempt against Georgia. And he nails it. 27-17 on the Monje 29-yarder. Timeout. Luke Monje, who just made it a 10-point game, will kick it off because Newman's kickoff sailed out of bounds late in the first half. So Monje now handling kickoff chores. Milliken and Pass are back deep for the Dogs. Pass number 6, shaking and trying to get loose down there by the goal line. Good idea. Well covered high kickoff.
Talked about that last drive and how Ralph Friedgen designed it. Look at this. All right here, picking on that left quarterback Wansley right there, all down the sideline. Just made that drive work its way down, as you said, Brent, matriculate down the left side. We talked about Jim Donnan finding a little bit of a pressure point. Now Ralph Friedgen has found one. Comeback route to the outside for Georgia Tech has been good with him.
Pass shaken up on that kickoff return. Sags in the backfield. Edwards injured and out. Play fake. Carter rolls hard left, dropped.
Let's take a look at the way Quincy Carter is attacking this field. And what stands out to me, Brent, is look at this. He's hit every zone. He's got them all covered right here. He's gone to all the zones, thrown the ball effectively. That's when you know you got a good pass offense going, where you're throwing the ball all over the field, make them cover the whole field. Both tight ends in the game. Those are the playmakers. Get the ball to the tight ends.
Greer and Parker are the two wideouts. Carter fires high for Greer and incomplete. He probably spends so much time hitting those 6'3" and 6'" tight ends that everything else to a smaller wideout tends to go high, as Greer's only 5'10".
He started out the first half throwing high. Look at the footwork, comes back, nice bounce, gathered. I mean, that's just a plain miss. That's when you got to make it, depending on your quarterback. All 5 of the offensive linemen did a good job, and Quincy Carter has to hit those type of plays. Start off slow in the first half, same in the second.
Only 2 of 9 on third down. Middle, deflected, intercepted. Picked off at the 25-yard line, and Georgia Tech on the Tavares Tillman interception, the senior from Lyons, Georgia, and they're in business in the red zone.
Tavares Tillman gets the interception. Javaris Johnson is the guy who Quincy Carter tried to go to. The tight end is just outside the picture, coming across the frame. Quincy looks left, comes back, throws the ball. You can see it. I thought he was interfered on the play that time. Chris Edwards was all over his back, and Javaris Johnson thought he was also. Had his hands all over him. He was more than 10 yards downfield, and actually while the ball was in the air.
Hamilton starts the motion. Looks right, fires in zone. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Des White, 18 yards. So go for the throat after a turnover. How many times have we seen it work at the collegiate and the professional level? Don't sit on it. Go now.
A team that's last in the country in turnovers, get a turnover, and what happens is come down, this guy goes in, White goes out and then back in. Watch Des White. Goes out and then back in. That's what really favored him.
Monje adds the extra point, and so Joe Hamilton has tossed for his second touchdown of the day. He also has rushed for 71 yards.
Here's Des White. He's going to come out, fake the flag, and then bend into the end zone. Perfect route by Des White. Joe Hamilton has enough time to wait. There's the bend to the outside, curl back into it. You got to give credit to the offensive coordinator for that design. That's perfect.
They may juggle the secondary again in Athens. Timeout.